to type them into the chat. And I will look over at the chat every once in a while and answer them. And of course, I'll have a good look at the questions when I'm finished. Just so you know, I'm Karen Simons. I'm Director of International Programs with the Delta School District. I've worked in Delta for 23 years as a teacher, as a counselor, as a vice principal, as a principal, and now I'm director of this program. So I'm very proud of our program, and I'm very proud of our district as well. So I guess without any further ado, as they say, and hopefully I can watch the waiting room as well as I screen share, we'll start. And as I said, please in the chat as we go along, if you have any questions for me, please type them in there. So please be patient as I screen share. Okay. So as this says, I am Karen Simons, Director of International Programs in Delta. I love this picture, which is one of the reasons it's on our front cover, because this picture really represents to me a lot of what I feel is important in what I do. Of course, in the background, you can see the ocean, the trees, the beautiful British Columbia nature that we have here. But what we have in front are 4 international students from 4 different countries. We have Clara, she was from Germany, Nico from Italy, Elena from Brazil, and Yuka from Japan. Yuka and Clara were host sisters, and for years after, and I don't know, they may still do this, Clara would go visit Yuka in Japan in the spring, and Yuka would spend Christmas at Clara's house in Germany. So when we have our students coming to Canada, we of course are wanting them to have a wonderful Canadian education and have academic expectations of them, but it is also a global experience where students are making connections with people from all over the world and getting exposed to perspectives from all over the world as well. So it's a Canadian education plus much more. All right. So why study in Canada? Very briefly, Canada has a wonderful education system. It's a safe place for students to come and study. As we watch events right now around the world, you know, there are some places in the world that are worrisome, but Canada provides a safe environment, a quality education, and graduating from the province of British Columbia allows students to go to university almost anywhere in the world. So it is really an education that opens minds and opens doors. Delta is in the Vancouver area. So we're the very southwest corner of Canada here, nonstop flight from Hong Kong. And Delta is the very southwest corner of what we call Greater Vancouver. So this map shows Greater Vancouver. We're 20 minutes away from the airport. We're very fortunate the way the planes come in. They don't fly over Delta. We don't get the airplane noise, but we certainly get the convenience to the airport. And we're 30 minutes away from downtown Vancouver, right on the US border. It's surrounded by water. We've got the river here and the ocean on both sides. It's lots of open space, as you can see as I zoom in on Delta. It's not like living in the middle of the big city, although you're very close to the big city. You're very close to Richmond. You've got a beautiful forest here, some farmland, some ocean with 2 lovely beaches here, a huge shopping mall here. This is the ferry to Victoria here. There's a tunnel under the river here that takes you to Vancouver. So beautiful environment and convenience. So you're in a small town and a big city all at the same time. Very high income level. It's the 2nd highest per household income in all of Vancouver and the 2nd lowest crime rate in all of Vancouver as well. And there's tons of things to do. We do have the beautiful nature right outside our doorstep. There are community centers. There's a big mall. Here are some pictures of our area, golf courses. We're close to the North Shore Mountains. At this time of year, the eagles, the migratory eagles are coming through, and there's eagles everywhere. Beautiful springs, 4 seasons a year, lovely sunsets. So I walk outside my door. I live in Ladner in Delta, and I can ride my bicycle, and in 5 minutes I'm at the beach. I can ride my bicycle, and in 5 minutes I'm in town. I can ride my bicycle, and in 10 minutes I'm at the mall. I can walk outside my door and be in 10 minutes looking at this, and only 30 minutes from all of this as well. So it's a lovely balance for me. And here's what it looks like.
Delta, renowned for its beautiful natural settings, 3 safe, well-established communities, all only a short distance to the airport, downtown Vancouver, and the United States. Delta offers a wide range of year-round recreational opportunities and community festivals, such as Ladner's May Days, Tsawwassen Sun Festival, and North Delta's Family Day. Excellent community facilities, including 6 golf courses. It also hosts international events such as the Tour de Delta and the Boundary Bay Air Show. Discover a unique mix of premium fashion brands, factory outlets, and restaurants at one of the region's largest shopping areas, the Tsawwassen Mills and Tsawwassen Commons shopping malls. Delta is unique in the region due to its abundance of unspoiled natural environments, its beaches, parks, and conservation areas. Delta boasts one of the highest graduation rates in British Columbia and supports belonging to our local and global communities. Delta, a great place to learn.
Oh, no, we don't need to see it again. So as I said, 30 minutes to downtown, 20 minutes to the airport. 100,000 people live in Delta. Upper middle class community, very English speaking, high percentage of university graduates, lots of sunshine. We're far away from the North Shore Mountains, so we get more sun and milder temperatures than most places in the area. It's safe community and surrounded by beautiful natural scenery. So moving away from Delta as an area to live, as I said, there's many reasons to come and study in Canada, and Canada is consistently one of the top ranked education systems in the world. You can see us up here. As well, it's not just the ranking of the education system that makes a Canadian education important. It's also the kinds of thinking skills that it produces. When I went to school, it was very important to memorize a lot of things because you couldn't access information as easily. Now with our cell phones, and we just have to say, "Hey Siri," and I'll say it and my phone will answer. We can find facts very quickly, but there are other types of thinking that are more important in the modern world today. And these are kinds of things that as parents, as you work in the business world or whatever world you're working in, you can think of these as being some of the foundations of what makes a successful person. So in all of the curriculum, there are some overarching themes in the British Columbia curriculum that every course focuses on. And every single course, whether it's math or science or physical education or drama, aims to establish and teach personal, social, and cultural competency. Having our international students come and be part of our Canadian schools really helps build that competency in our Canadian students as they hear about the experiences and the mindsets of other countries. Communication competency, the abilities to collaborate, connect, engage, acquire information, interpret information, present information, explain things, recount and reflect. And of course, the ability to think creatively and critically. These are such important skills now that Canadian school helps develop. And this is what our school district stands for. There's a lot of information on here, but maybe the key features here are the key values of caring, respect, responsibility, community, and excellence. We can see over here, again, the importance of becoming a good global citizen, understanding the world. And we hope to be a leading district for innovative teaching and learning success. Some of the vision of our district. And our vision that we established 10 years ago is working because Delta has steadily improved its academic standing. And you can see on this graph, these are all of the school districts in British Columbia, the graduation rates. So the average is this orange bar. Delta is right here, this green bar. And if we expand this graph to say 6-year completion rates, how many students graduate after 6 years in high school? Delta's at 100% of students graduating. Our school district has 16,000 students in 31 schools. So we have 24 elementary schools, kindergarten to grade 7, and 7 secondary schools, grade 8 to 12. And we welcome international students at all of our schools. We have an excellent educational reputation, as I said, high graduation rates, small ESL populations. So it is Canadian school for Canadian students with a large number of native English-speaking Canadians in school, plus international students from over 35 countries. And we offer short-term programs. In elementary school, that's as short as 3 months. In high school, grade 8 to 12, 5 months. Longer term, year-long programs, graduation programs whose students want to get a BC graduation diploma. We call it a dogwood. And we also offer summer programs as well. And as I've already pointed this out, 7 high schools, 24 elementary schools. We do have some specialty programs as well, though. We have a French immersion program, elementary and high school, advanced placement classes in grade 11 and 12, an elementary IB program and a high school IB program, some traditional schools. So these are elementary schools that students wear uniforms. They're public schools, but they look a little bit more and feel a little bit more like a private school, maybe a little bit more strict. Again, students wearing uniforms. You'll see a little girl talking about her time in one of those schools a little later on. And we have some fine arts and sports academies. And as I said, it is Canadian school for Canadian students with no more than 10% international students in each school. This is a bunch of students at International Education Week, celebrating the diversity of our program in one of our schools. And here are some elementary students getting ready for their relay in the spring. So our schools, I think oh shoot, I missed a slide. I'll come back and show you a picture of our schools later. I've hidden the slide accidentally, but I have a picture of our 7 high schools. So we're talking about our high schools right now. So academics is absolutely important in our schools. Students take 8 courses in a year, and probably 6 of those in most cases will be academic. We offer complete sciences, math, English, all the standard academics in all of our schools. And as an international program, we have expectations that kids are going to school and trying their best. When they first arrive, they may not be straight A students, but we believe that with a commitment to attendance and a commitment to a good work ethic, they will get to where they want. So here we have a young man working on his math, it looks like. This is a language class. This is Frank. Frank is from China. After 2 years being in Canada, he entered a poetry contest and was published in a poetry anthology with Canadian students. So in 2 years, his English improved to be an award-winning poet. So this immersion in Canadian school with Canadian students really helps develop language skills quickly. These are some young men working on a chemistry assignment in Canada, where there's multiple ways to show you know and understand things. Talking in class, writing, making presentations, making posters. These young ladies are working on a science experiment, and this is a young man in a science class as well. So lots of hands-on experiential learning. And of course, what makes Canadian school special is the electives. Taking 1 or 2 courses of interest or of choice to make you a well-rounded, balanced person. So these 2 young ladies from Vietnam were taking woodshop. They said, I can never do that in my home country. I want to try that. Robotics, photography, and all sorts of different arts, as you can see here. Music, culinary arts, cooking in an industrial kitchen, fashion design, computers, business. All of those are options, which sometimes help students connect with what they want to do when they grow up. Because really very few of us are just scientists or just mathematicians. We have these skills, but combine them into careers that we can draw some creativity from as well. All of our schools have teams and clubs for students to join. This is a great way to build some leadership skills, great way to make friends. We have sports in all of our schools: soccer, rowing, field hockey, American football, swimming, tennis, basketball, and Delta sports teams do very well. We do have the clubs and the extracurriculars. So there's anything from leadership and United Nations. And this boy was in a environmental club and received a national award for a video he produced on light pollution in Delta. Volunteer clubs like Duke of Edinburgh Award. This is a theater club. And there's even cute little clubs like the Rubik's Cube Club, and they have the car restoration club in one school. So many different opportunities for students to make friends and develop interests outside of just the academics. And of course, Canadian schools are places where there's events as well, communities where we not celebrate, but stand up against bullying on Pink Shirt Day, have Valentine's Day celebrations, volunteer clubs. Halloween is huge in Canada, so people dress up. There's just games and activities. This is a school triathlon, and of course, graduation events for students who are graduating. But also within our schools, as an international student, students can access all sorts of great supports. All of our schools have ESL of different levels, depending on the grade and the need of the students. All of our high schools have an international coordinator who is the daily contact and support for students. Again, events where international students can connect with each other. In our program, we have the police come in and talk about community safety, online safety, how Canada works, because international students can be vulnerable when they're far away from home and their parents. And of course, most importantly, the teachers. We have caring teachers. Teachers in British Columbia have to have at least 2 university degrees to teach and are the first line of supports and care for our students. And every school also has counselors, university advisors, so lots of supports available for students. We also, as I said, the university advisors help our students find a path towards university. So this is Diane. She received a $100,000 entrance scholarship from SFU. We have a university fair for international students every year, and we can help students with their university applications, and we help them with their course planning every year to make sure they're getting the courses they need to get to the university they want to go to. And we also have some specialized academies for students with a really strong passion in a certain area. They can take 2 out of their 8 classes, not taught by a teacher, but taught by somebody who's a professional. So for example, our dance academy is taught by the woman who choreographed the Vancouver Olympics opening ceremonies. Our golf coach is our PGA certified coaches. Filmmaking is huge in Vancouver. We're called Hollywood North. And so in our various film academies, acting, visual effects, and production, that's taught by people who actually work in the film industry in Vancouver. And we have a soccer academy as well. And here is a video showing one of our schools, South Delta Secondary. Maybe there. That's one of our 7 high schools. But all of our high schools offer more than 160 classes, ESL at a variety of different levels, from beginner ESL to ESL that helps students develop their university level writing skills. Coordinators, teachers, advisors, counselors, teacher librarians, international students from 35 countries, sports, clubs, and events. And in applying, you can indicate your preference of school. But no matter which school you're at, Canadian schools aren't ranked in the same way as schools around the world. No matter which school you go to in British Columbia, public school, you have equal access to university. It's not like some schools, if you go to some schools, you have more of a chance of getting into UBC or University of Toronto. You get a diploma from the entire province. So you have an equitable access after graduation. And our school district and our program has an outstanding reputation in Canada and around the world. One of the things that kids always want to know is what does their school day look like? And in high school, the school day starts 8:30 in the morning most days, 9:30 on Wednesdays. And then there are typically 4 classes a day with a very special class here where, and this tells a lot again about Canadian educational philosophy. Canadians really value a sense of personal motivation and self-responsibility. So in this class called Flex, students have to go to one of their classes, but they get to pick which of their 8 classes they go to. So the science teacher might say, extra review for the science test if you come to Flex on Tuesday. And your child might say, oh, great, I need extra review for science. So they go and have some extra review. Or they might say, ugh, science is easy, but I need some extra help with my English assignment. I'm going to go see my English teacher instead. So it really gives students a sense of direction on what they need to do for their own learning. Now, not all students are used to that from the beginning. So part of the job of my staff too is to watch where kids are going. And if a student isn't passing a class or not doing as well as we think they could be, we will nudge them, and sometimes nudge them really hard, to go to Flex for a certain subject for a certain length of time to improve their grade. And for some students, using Flex wisely means where they might have needed a tutor, they really don't need a tutor anymore because they're using their teachers almost like an extra tutoring session. For students, this is a nice paper schedule, but all of our schools have apps for students. So they have an app on their phone where they can access the school schedule, they can text teachers, they get announcements, they can see what's for lunch in the cafeteria, what different events are happening each day. This day was school photos. So it's a great tool. Most of our students coming from Hong Kong, of course, are wanting to graduate in British Columbia. So there are some courses that are needed. English 10, 11, and 12 completed in Canada. Science 10, 11, or 12. Science 10 can be completed in another country and we can give transfer credit. Math 10 and 11 or 12. Again, we can transfer math credit from home country. And same thing with social studies. Careers 10 and 12 must be done in Canada. Applied skill and fine art. Physical education can be transferred from home country. And all of this has to total 80 credits at 4 credits a pop. Never a problem for international students. It's never a problem with number of credits for sure. And many grade 10 credits are transferable from the home country, as I said. Now that's just to graduate. To get into university, students often need more courses than just the basics. Those are 2 different standards, basic graduation and getting into university. But again, it's my staff that are there and we are helping make that plan because we know graduating from high school is not the end of the plan. Coming to Canada, graduating from high school, and then moving on to the next phase. It's all part of a bigger picture that we are respectful of and assist with. Now, we also have elementary and primary programs. We don't just take high school students. Students who are 10 or older can come and live in Canadian home without their parents. Students younger than 10 need to come with their parents, but we do have many parents who come and live with their children as their children are attending Delta schools. Just like our high schools, all of our elementary schools have ESL support. They are very caring and nurturing environments. There's a wide variety of sports and activities and events, and students all learn music in grades 6 and 7. And here are some pictures of elementary school. Again, really warm and vibrant places with excellent learning that goes on. There's an annual Delta Science Fair. I've been a judge at it before. Libraries in every school, access to computers and technology, and Canadian events. This is a student from Korea who's written Mother's Day cards. So I believe most countries have a Mother's Day. Canadian Mother's Day is in May, and they were making Mother's Day cards for their mothers. We also have specialty elementary programs. As I mentioned before, we have one school that has the IB program in elementary. We do offer French immersion, the traditional schools, Montessori teaching, and stretch programs. These are often in the areas of STEM or art for students that really need a challenge. they can apply for a stretch program. And like the high schools, you can see that there's an emphasis on working collaboratively, problem solving, not just reading a book and memorizing answers, but coming up, inquiring and problem solving and critical thinking your way and talking through things as they come up. And here is one of our elementary students. I believe it's in English. If it's not in English, I'll fast forward it, but I believe it is. And she goes to one of the traditional schools. She's wearing her uniform.
Hello, welcome to the. My name is Sangha and I'm in the second grade in Pebble Hill Elementary School. I'm here to introduce you international education program in Delta. Although it's only been a year since I came here, I have so many good memories. I came here last August. At first, I was kind of nervous. Everything was new to me. New friends, new teachers, and new neighbors. But I adapted very soon because they were all kind to me. My teacher encouraged me to speak up during class and to make friends. Thanks to my teacher and my friends, I could enjoy my school life. My friends at Pebble Hill Elementary School are very friendly. At recess or after lunch, we like to play in the playground. Me and my friends like to hang on the monkey bars and to play on the swings. One of the most memorable events is the marathon. Before the event, I had to go to school early for training, which was quite tough. Although I didn't win a medal, I felt a sense of accomplishment in running the whole section. I also had lovely neighbors. My family had great memories with them, like Halloween party and Christmas party. At Halloween, almost everyone in the town came out and enjoyed it. I had hundreds of candies, which was so exciting. At Christmas, my neighbor invited us and we had a great time eating nice food, singing carols, and exchanging Christmas presents. In Delta, you can make great experiences and memories with us. Hope to see you in Delta. Bye!
I just have to show that because it's the cutest thing ever. But that shows, you know, when students come young and they're immersed in an English speaking environment, just how quickly they learn English. That's 1 year after she arrived in Delta. We do have a strong academic reputation. So even though we pride ourselves in all of our extras, school is important. We have innovative programs, award-winning teachers. We focus on post-secondary preparation and university. Our international students have a 95% university acceptance rate or higher every year. And as I said earlier, we have high expectations around attendance and work ethic, and good results follow from that. And our students go to great schools across the world when they graduate. These are just some. University of British Columbia, Toronto, McGill, Waterloo, University of California, King's College in England. And then the final segment, so I've talked about Delta as an area to live, talked about our schools, and I will come back and show you a picture of our schools in a second. The final thing is our supports, and this is what we really think makes Delta stand apart. We do have international coordinators in each school, ESL, the caring teacher, but there's also our district supports. We have a big staff. We have multicultural workers who speak multiple languages. We have 24-hour access to assistance. And we also do orientations, not just for our elementary students and our high school students. When parents come and live in our community as well, we do orientations where we explain Canadian education system, Canadian health system, transportation, and help our parents adapt to their new life in Canada as well. So here are some pictures of our new student orientation. These are students arriving at Delta Secondary School, one of our high schools, for their school-based orientation. Before Canadian students are there, they come, they do an English test, they see their schedule, they get a tour, they learn how to open their locker, learn all about the schedule and the sports and the clubs. This is our elementary student orientation, where again, we have experienced elementary students sharing about what Canadian school is like and how to be successful. And this is another student orientation at Burnsview Secondary School. And then for high school students, the other part of our orientation is a time for them to meet other international students so that before they go to school on the first day, they've actually made some friends. Not with Canadians yet, but that takes time because Canadians are cautious and reserved people. It wouldn't be normal for students to have friends right away in their first week in a Canadian school. It takes longer to build those friendships, but they do come. But at first we say, make friends with other international students from all over the world. So we do some sightseeing in Vancouver, and then we go bowling. And so here we have a Mindu, two Spanish girls and a couple of boys from Vietnam who are all getting to know each other as international students. And on our website, we have available an international student handbook, and it's available in about 12 languages that explains some things about culture shock and homesickness and how Canadian homes might be different than homes that they come from, and how to be successful in Canadian school, and how to talk with their homestay family if they have an issue, and all sorts of tips and tricks. What to pack, very important, because doesn't feel like Hong Kong here today. In Delta, we don't get a lot of snow, and it doesn't get below 0 degrees very often, but it's rainy in the winter and it can feel very damp. And of course, compared to the climate in Hong Kong, cool. So what to pack is often an important consideration. This is my wonderful staff, all wearing our masks and being socially distanced for our picture this year. And there we are without our masks. Some key people, of course, there's me. I'm the director of the program. I am custodian for most students too, if they come without their parents. This is Ms. George. She is responsible for high school student support in 2 of our high schools. And this is Mr. Eichhorn. He is responsible for high school student support in 5 of our high schools. This is Ms. Hamilton, and she is responsible for elementary student support. This is Anna. Anna speaks Mandarin if you are a native Mandarin speaker. Anna does help support students who speak Mandarin with translation, or parents as well. And then, so this is our cultural support team. So we have support workers who speak all of these languages. And these are our homestay coordinators. So if students are coming without their parents, one of the things that makes Delta different than a lot of the Vancouver area districts is we run our own homestay program. So it's not a separate company, it's not a business running homestay. We are running our homestay. We feel it's very important that we are responsible for students 24 hours a day, and it's a responsibility we take very seriously. And we believe that that is the best for students' emotional, social well-being, as well as their academic well-being. It helps us support them if they're feeling homesick. It helps us support them if they're feeling a bit anxious or worried about things. And by me running my own homestay program, it allows us to move kids quickly if that needs to happen. Lots of information on the application form, you fill it out, what kind of family, and 90% of the time they get it right. But sometimes what looks good on paper just isn't what is good in reality, in which case, if it's a small problem, we fix it. But if not, we take the student to meet some other families, and the student can say, "Ah, that's the family that feels good to me. I like that family. I'm going to be happy there." So depending on the school students go to, one of these ladies would be the homestay coordinator. A nice thing about our program too is almost all of my staff actually live in Delta. So we're not living in Delta and saying it's a great place and then going home somewhere else. We actually all live here and believe this is a great place to live. And we're invested in the program because it's part of our community, and we're working to make our community better by bringing in students and taking good care of them. So all of these ladies live in Delta, and all of them have teenagers who go to our schools. And this is Brent. He is our homestay manager. He also lives in Delta. His son is only 3, so he doesn't go to a Delta school yet, but he will in a couple of years. Homestay is always private bedroom, private place to study, washroom facilities, English-speaking family, all the meals, all the snacks, laundry, Wi-Fi, open access to the home, access to one of our homestay coordinators. We move students, as I said, within 20 minutes walk of school, or the homestay helps with transportation, and free airport pickup and drop off. What's lovely is because we are so close to the airport, when students are living in our homestay families actually come and pick students up. And one year I went because we had about too many students arrive on one day, and I knew something was going to go wrong. So I decided, instead of waiting for my phone to ring that something's gone wrong, I'm going to go to the airport. And it was the most wonderful day. I got to see all of these smiling faces. Our homestays were there with signs, "Welcome to Canada." And actually there were no problems because our homestays were there with signs saying, "Welcome, Hannah." And the kids could find. And I spent most of my day helping students who were going to other places find the pickup service, find the bus. But our homestays and kids got connected very easily because they were there meeting in person. You can see it was a lovely day. Our homestays are very carefully selected: criminal record checks, home visits, interviews, reference checks, and our students do surveys twice a year on the homestays. And here are some pictures of our students in their homestays with other international students making cookies. These are two boys from Korea and their Canadian host brothers. Halloween, again, as I said, is big in Canada, carving pumpkins, Thanksgiving dinners, just hanging out outside, going on fishing trips, meeting new pets, if you like animals, hanging out at the beach. When we do get snow, once or twice a winter, building a snowman. Again, more time at the beach, playing board games, hanging out at Christmas, campfires in the summer. And even though we're in this time of COVID, we still have international students coming to Delta. We were supposed to have 8 arrive today. One of the reasons I think I'm missing some pictures from my slide is 8 students missed their connection in Montreal. So I've been frantically dealing with that before this, and they're all set. They're staying in a hotel supervised tonight and going to get on a plane tomorrow morning. So we take good care of kids in transit, and we've been taking good care of kids in COVID. Our students that do arrive, we're supporting them through quarantine in our homestay families. We do daily activities with them over Zoom. Somebody in our staff is talking to them face to face over Zoom every day. When we had COVID first hit in March, we had a photo contest to show your funniest COVID moments. So here we are looking for wipes. Our schools have very strict protocols around wearing masks. There isn't transmission of COVID in our schools, and our kids are going to face-to-face learning. So although we're living with COVID, we're doing so in the best way we can, in the way we can connect with kids the most, and in the safest way possible. In a normal year, our staff hosts monthly sightseeing activities for students. So we go to Playland, we go to a Christmas light festival, skiing and snowboarding in Whistler, outdoor activities, snow tubing and snowshoeing. We go to the capital city, Victoria. Those are optional, but again, a good way to connect with other international students and our staff, because we go on these trips as well. We have a summer program. It's currently on hold. I have to decide in the next month or so if we can run summer this year or not. But students can come for 2 weeks all the way up to 8 weeks in July and August with ESL, morning and afternoon sightseeing activities, or all day ESL. And you can do a combination, 2 weeks of one program, 1 week of another. It's unique as well because it's not taught by university students or volunteers. It's taught by the same teachers who teach students in their high school and elementary school. It's a wonderful first experience abroad for a younger student that's never had that experience. They want to see if they like Delta, see if they want to study English abroad. It's a great taste of it. And sometimes it's also a great taste of, or a great entryway into a school year. I'm going to come for 2 weeks. I'm going to go to class. I'm going to figure out English, Canadian English teaching style. I'm going to get over my jet lag before I start my academic program. And here are some scenes from our summer programs. And one final video, a video testimonial of a high school student from Mexico who's attending Delta Secondary School. So you can see another facility here and another reason why kids love studying in Canada.
Hey, my name is Francisco. I'm from Mexico and I'm studying at the Delta School District. I always like science. The teacher is very nice, polite, and a great teacher. I like the physics part of science because I've always liked math, and I feel like physics gives a purpose to that knowledge in life. The culinary arts class is a very fun and useful class. It's fun because you're doing something interesting with friends, and it's useful because it prepares you for the future. I play the piano at the school's performance, and we were practicing for the school award ceremony. We've been practicing for like 2 weeks before the ceremony. We decided to play Bohemian Rhapsody because one day I was playing the main part of the song in the club and the teacher really liked it. He told me that he wanted to perform it with singers and drums. I enjoyed it very much. There are a lot of very talented singers and musicians at school, so it was a lot of fun. The school is very nice and well organized. And also the life that I have here is very different to the life that I have in Mexico. And I also think that in Delta, the weather is very good compared to other parts of Metro Vancouver. Right now it's the beginning of summer and the weather is so good. I have mixed feelings because I'm excited to see my family and my friends in Mexico, but I'm also sad because I made a lot of friends in Delta. Yes, it's a bit hard to know that the school year is almost over. I had an awesome experience here, and I think everyone should go through this experience. Thank you, Delta School District, for such a wonderful opportunity.
And of course, we have a website which offers more pictures, access to more videos, and more information on our program. You can see it's in multiple languages, which may be helpful. And this is a very useful tab, the New Student Information tab. So that's our program. And I will stop sharing the screen, check out the chat, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Oh, before I do that, I will escape this and I will show you a picture of our 7 schools because that is what I was missing on my slides in my rush today. Oh, I can't do that. Okay, PowerPoint, escape. Aha. Just a second. So if we're looking at pictures of our schools, yes, I hid that slide. So these are our 7 high schools. They range in size from 800 students to 1,500 students. So Burnsview is a smaller school, 800 students, whereas Delta Secondary, bigger school. Delview, smaller school, 800 students. A science teacher at the school won a Prime Minister's Award for teaching excellence. North Delta, bigger school. Sands, lovely smaller school with a very cozy, friendly, warm feeling. Siakum is a bigger school and is also home to our IB program. And the school in one of the first video was South Delta Secondary School. And I don't have pictures of all of our elementary schools, but this is a selection of our elementary schools. Cougar Canyon, I believe that's Hawthorne, Nielsen Grove, Ladner Elementary, Holly, Sunshine Hills, and Cliff Drive Elementary. So there are 24 elementary schools as well. I guess I'll save that and okay. How many Hong Kong students in our school districts? We don't have a ton of students from Hong Kong in any given year. We have about 15. Sometimes it's hard for me to give an exact number because some of our students, if I just look up Hong Kong on our database, it doesn't tell me the whole story because some of our students from Hong Kong have Canadian passports because they're born in Canada. But 15 to 20 students from Hong Kong every year, and they would be spread evenly throughout all of our different high schools because we really work to make sure that countries are evenly represented. I don't like to have one school that has a bunch of students from one country and not that international mix, because that's the purpose of an international program, is to mix and have a nice balance of students from a variety of different countries. If you have too many students from one country in one place, they just hang out together and they don't make friends with others. Thank you for that question. Are there other questions? Yes, you can transfer credits from Hong Kong to Canada. So any science credits you have can transfer, provided you've passed the course. Any history or geography or politics can be transferred as a social studies credit. So I've got science, social studies, math can be transferred as a credit. Physical education, if you've taken it, transfers as a credit. And then any electives, any computers or music or drawing or painting or art, anything like that can transfer as a credit as well. So those are all transferable. So even though some grade 10 classes are needed to graduate from British Columbia, that's why students can actually start our program in grade 11 and graduate, because enough of those grade 10 credits from home country do count towards the graduation. And it's common for our students to come in grade 11. It is common in grade 10 as well, but it is common and possible to come in grade 11 and graduate. Good question. Are there any other questions? Of course, FSS is very knowledgeable about our programs. We have worked with them for many years. They send students to our district, and we very much appreciate their support and their kindness and their knowledge of our programs. So you're always welcome to contact them, and they can give you more specifics. Specifically around schools, we really like to work to place students in a school that's going to be the best fit for them. So that's one of the ways that April and her team at FSS work with us, is working to make sure you don't have to know the best school for your student. You can do some research, of course, but we can help find the best placement for your student. If your son's English is a little bit weak, what supports can we provide? So we have supports for that in all of our schools. So as long as students aren't coming in grade 11, if you're in grade 11, you kind of are on a very strict program of having to take regular English classes from the beginning. If you're coming before grade 11, students would be placed in ES if their English is weak, if we test it. We would place them in 1 or maybe 2 ESL blocks at their level, and maybe not right away into English 10 or English 9. But students with weaker English can do math and can do science, and just being around students who speak English, they improve very quickly. So certain 1 or 2 blocks, in extreme cases, 3 blocks of English, but I've never seen a student from Hong Kong need that much English support. Combination of ESL and proper placement in the proper classes where they're going to be successful and surrounded in English will get students to where they need to be. If you're not sure of your university goals, is there guidance? Yes, absolutely. There is a person in each school called a career and university advisor. Their only job is to help students pinpoint what they want to do in university and what is the best university for them to go to. So there is a specific person who can help with that. And our staff as well, Claire, Ms. George, Mr. Eichhorn, myself, we have conversations frequently with kids to help them determine where and what they want to do after high school. So that's another nice support of our program. Good questions. Thank you for asking. I think we have 4 minutes left if there are any other burning questions. Again, please contact FSS with your questions, but I'm also going to add in here my email address. If you do email me, please remind me that you're part of the seminar as well. But that is my email, and I'm also on WhatsApp, which I'm adding there as well. So I'm waiting. This is, as a teacher, I was a teacher, you're taught to pause and wait for questions. Oh, thank you. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope it was coherent. It's Friday night here in Delta at 7:57 p.m. So it's the end of a work week for me. So hopefully I had still enough energy and that you got a good sense of our program. And we'd be happy to welcome you to Canada at some point. All right. Well, enjoy your day, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you again for joining us, and take care and be well. Stay healthy.